Hello, welcome to this session. So just waiting for a few more people to join in and then we'll start our session. So just to begin with, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Karishma Balani. I'm an aesthetic dermatologist and aesthetic physician and with special interest in lasers, PCOS, anti-aging and trichology. So I practice, I'm the medical director of Sinova chain of clinics which are at Bandra, Kalyan and Thane. So today we'll be discussing mainly about dry skin in children, and before starting about dry skin, I thought I'll just divide the topics. We'll start talking about what is the difference between a newborn skin and an adult skin, and what are precautions you have to take in a newborn skin, what are the physiological conditions in a newborn, and what are the acquired conditions in a newborn skin, and then we'll take up what exactly is the dry skin, what are the causes of the dry skin, and how do you treat the dry skin, right? Hello Bharat. So who's this budding star? Fine. So I think we'll start. So what is basically the difference between a newborn skin and an adult skin? Newborn skin is 40 to 60% thinner as compared to adult skin, number one. Number two, it is less hairy. Number three, there is a dermo-epidermal junction which is weaker, and the surface area of the body of a newborn skin is 3 to 5 times larger as compared to an adult. That's the reason any topical application what you're using for your baby, it's very important to find the ingredients, what it contains, because it should not be toxic. Because of the increased surface area, the percutaneous absorption is much more and it can lead to toxicity in a baby. So these are the main differences between a newborn skin and an adult skin. Now, what are the physiological changes which we see in a newborn baby? You must have seen the babies inside the utero. It's protected inside the uterus. There's a lot of the fluid, amniotic fluid, which acts as a buffer, and there's no chances of any trauma, injury, nothing. When the baby is inside the amniotic fluid, mother is taking care of the baby. Now, as soon as there's delivery, as soon as the baby comes out, the baby comes out with something called as vernix caseosa. Vernix caseosa is actually a waste product of epidermis, sebaceous. It's basically a waste product from mother point of view, but it's very cheesy, it's very creamy, so it helps in slippage of the baby coming out. Also, the vernix caseosa helps in protecting the baby from bacterial infections, from any kind of injury, trauma, as soon as the baby comes out. Now, generally, this caseosa ideally should not be removed. It comes out on its own, but because it is stained with meconium, urine, feces of the baby, it's ideally cleaned once the baby is born and wiped. Everything is wiped properly. And generally, a bath should be given not earlier than 6 hours till the temperature of the baby is maintained. After that, the baby can be given a bath. Now, what are the normal changes which we see, physiological changes in a newborn baby? There's something called as sebaceous hyperplasia. There are, flesh colored papules over the nose, cheeks and chin. It's called as sebaceous hyperplasia. It is because of the maternal androgens which are still there in the body. So that is physiological. Nothing is to be done. It just leave it. It goes away on its own. The second is something called as milia. Milia is a epidermal cyst. It's a retention cyst. You see like a small epidermal cyst all over the face in a newborn baby. And when you open the mouth, it's also seen on the palate. Now, it is also called as Epstein pearls. Again, nothing to be done. It just goes away on its own. Coming to number 3, the third physiological change in the baby, you must be seeing grayish colored patches. You all must have seen in a newborn baby. Grayish, brownish, greenish patches, which is generally seen in the lower back or the buttocks or the shoulder. This is called as the Mongolian spot. Again, it generally goes away by 2 years of age. Nothing is to be done. Another change which is seen is a little hyperpigmentation. You see hands are the lines are a little dark, the skin is a little dark, there's a linea alba line on the abdomen which is a little dark, the genitals may be dark. It is called as hyperpigmentation. Again, it is considered normal. As the baby grows, the baby overcomes it, she overgrows it. Then there's something called as cutis marmorata. As soon as the baby, we change from one room to the other and there's a change in the temperature, there's hypothermia. So you see reticulate pattern over the body. Again, that is very normal. It comes back to normal within few certain days as the baby is growing. Then there's something called as cutaneous hemangiomas. So it's like a salmon pink color patch over the neck, over the glabellar region, over the eyelid. Again, as the baby grows, it goes away. So most of these are physiological changes. Then there is cradle cap. You must have heard, that there is whitish, greasy substance on the scalp, and you feel, oh, how is the baby having dandruff? Such a small baby, how can change? So that is called as cradle cap. Again, nothing much to be done, just a mineral oil to be applied. At the most, if it doesn't come under control, you have to show to a doctor, and the pediatrician or the dermatologist will prescribe you some Savlon antiseptic solution, or sometimes a mild steroid. So these are generally common problems. There's also something called as suckling blisters on the thumb or around the lips. Then there is scaling of the body. There is peeling of the skin, which is more common is in small SGA babies, small for gestation age. So again, nothing to be done, that scaling becomes normal. And there is a rash which is very specific for newborn babies. It arrives on the 3rd or 4th day of life, and it is called as erythema toxicum. So that is a reddish maculopapular kind of a rash all over the body. Sometimes there may be small pustules, but again, that comes back to normal. No antibiotics, nothing is to be done, just to leave it. So most of the things in babies when they are born, they are all physiological. They are just to be left alone. Now coming to the acquired problems in a newborn skin. Now the commonest acquired problem, I'm sure you all know, is diaper dermatitis. Yes, it is the most common. Now why does it occur? What happens? The skin of the baby, especially in the perineal region, there's repeated passage of urine and stool, right? So those urine contains actually ammonia. So if there is a breach in the skin, now repeated changing of the diapers, there's a friction between the skin and the diaper. So that leads to a breach in the skin. Because of the breach and the hydration, there is maceration of the skin. Because of that, there is probability of the microbials, by microorganism, to enter inside and to cause infection. So there are three types of diaper dermatitis. One is the frictional dermatitis, because of the fabric which the baby is wearing, any kind of nappy baby is wearing. The second is the irritant dermatitis. It's because of the urine and feces. Urine especially causes breakdown. There's ammonia production. Ammonia interacts with the breach and there is infection. And third is the candidiasis, so fungal infection. So there are three types of diaper dermatitis. It's very difficult for you to differentiate between the three. That's where the role of doctor comes, where you have to show to the doctor according to the kind of dermatitis, creams are applied. So important thing for you is how can you avoid diaper dermatitis. One is you use super absorbable diapers. Nowadays you have the best ones available which absorb the urine and this thing very nicely, and there's hardly any remnant on the skin. Second is, as soon as whenever you are changing the diaper, please see to it that you dry the area properly. It's not kept always soiled. It should be clean, dry. Use very soft muslin cloth or a very cotton balls, and just keep it clean and dry most of the time. That is the most important. Air is very important in between when you're changing the diapers. It's very important to expose to air. And again, an important thing is moisturizer. A moisturizer, it maintains the integrity. I'll be soon telling you the details how our skin has natural moisturizing factors which protect your skin. So first let's finish this diaper dermatitis. So very important to use a barrier cream. Nowadays you have barrier cream which contains zinc oxide, which contains dimethicone, silicone. So you need to keep on applying that. They are very nice, very soothe, very very good for maintaining. Basically you have to maintain the barrier very well so as to prevent any kind of diaper dermatitis. Now what happens because of this? There may be super added bacterial infection, there may be super added candidial infection. Now there's a common this thing. Many people, they just go to the over the counter and they buy creams. For not do that. Supposing there's a supposing the medical store person, they give you a mixture of a steroid, antibacterial to be applied. Please avoid using OTC products for your babies. So most of the time you have to use a good moisturizer. You have to keep it open. At the most, if there is fungal infection, you have to use antifungal creams. If there's bacterial, you have to use antibacterial creams. But most of the time you will get away with just applying good moisturizer, keeping the area dry and clean. I hope I made it clear. Which soap is best for baby for dry skin is Atoderm. Yes, Atoderm Pa is a very good soap, very good soap. and which soap is best. Again, I'm just coming to that. Now it's very important. I'm glad you came out with this question. Now, gone are the days where we use the normal bar. Normal soap are alkaline. Please do not use them for babies at all. In fact, even for adults, we are suggesting to go for something called as Syndet bars. Syndet bars are synthetic bars which contains lot of surfactant. Okay, now these are not alkaline. They are very pH friendly for your for the baby skin, for any sensitive skin. They are very pH friendly. So you have to. We have never seen any reactions, adverse reactions, as compared to any alkaline soaps you used to use. So it's very important to use Syndet bars, or you can also use bathing gels which are available. Again, they contain surfactant. But yes, the Atoderm pain bar is amazing. You must use it for your babies. It's excellent. In fact, all their products, there's an intense balm, that's a moisturizer which contains, I'll just come to that, one by one. Can we use Bioderma Atoderm for adults? Yes, of course. It's a wonderful product for those who have a sensitive skin, because it does not contain anything. It is hypoallergen. So I'll just come to that. What are the requirements? What is an ideal moisturizer? We'll just come to that. So we just finished with problems with the babies. What all problems the babies can again, in addition to diaper dermatitis, babies can have bacterial infections. They can have pustules over the body. It has been seen that 30% of the babies, by the time they are 6 days old, they have 30% of the babies are already colonized with the Staphylococcus aureus organism. So if proper hygiene measures are not taken care, see, mother has to wash her hands before she breastfeeds. She has to clean the baby well. Bathing, there are particular guidelines for a baby, how you should bathe the baby, what all you should use, whether the tub or the sponge is better. In short, I'll just tell you, tub is better than the sponge, and not more than 5 to 10 minutes of giving a bath. And you should use soap-free Syndet bars for the baby, right? So if supposing somebody has not taken proper care, then the baby is prone for bacterial infection. It can lead to pustules, it can lead to abscesses. So, and there's also an infection, something called as, which we dread as doctors, SSSS. It's a staphylococcal scalded skin syndrome. It is because of the exotoxin which causes florid. Staph aureus is an organism which has super antigens. It doesn't give you time. Immediately the infection spreads and there are blisters all over the body, and the infection is very dangerous. Most of the time the baby has to get admitted in the hospital and IV antibiotics. So if you want to prevent that, please take good care, good hygiene, clean your baby properly after every feeding, after every, give a bath twice a day, and moisturizers is a must because they've maintained the skin barrier. It's very important. In fact, moisturizers are called the bodyguard of the skin, right? So now we come to dry skin, which you all have been waiting for, right? So dry skin is a common problem in all age groups. Now I'll just explain you. The skin is made up of something called as epidermis and the dermis. The epidermis has multiple layers, right? Now the most uppermost layer is called as the stratum corneum. Now stratum corneum has a lot of keratinocytes. These are the skin cells. Each cell is a keratinocyte. Now these cells, the stratum corneum, it contains something called as profilaggrin or there are keratohyalin granules which contain profilaggrin gene. Now most the patients who we see, those who suffer from atopic dermatitis, they have a genetic defect with this gene. So what happens, because there is a genetic defect, the keratohyalin gene, this granules which contain something called as natural moisturizing factors, plus it contains a lot of ceramide. There's production of ceramides, cholesterol and free fatty acids. So there's a combination of these three things: cholesterol, 25% cholesterol, 40 to 50% of ceramides, and 10 to 15% of free fatty acids. Now these three together, they form an envelope of the skin. This actually maintains the skin barrier in babies, in children and in adults. Now this barrier is very important for all of us to protect us from bacteria, any kind of thermal injury, mechanical injury, everything. Normally there is around 10 to 30% of the water in that stratum corneum. But if by any reason, like for example in atopic dermatitis or when we are aging, there's reduction less than 10%, then the integrity of the physical barrier is gone, and you become prone for infections, for thermal trauma, for mechanical trauma, for all kind of problems, and that's how a whole this thing of eczema starts. So right now we'll be just focusing on dry skin. So I just told you how important that water content of the stratum corneum is, how important, how it is maintained. There's something called as natural moisturizing factors which are secreted by the skin, by the cells, and they all maintain the good pH of the skin. So pH has to be maintained. That protects the skin from the infections, inflammations, from mechanical trauma, thermal trauma, any kind of injury it protects. Now once this is lost, you become prone for infections. And the commonest condition which we see in children, because today we are discussing about babies, is atopic dermatitis. Atopic dermatitis can present in infancy, it can present in childhood, and it can present in adult. Now in infancy, it can present in small babies anywhere from 2 months to 6 months of age. They may have reddish erythematous macular patches over the cheeks, over the chin, over the forehead, and over the body, but it is more prominent over the face. In childhood, anywhere from 2 to 6 years, or maybe 2 to 12 years, they have more of involvement of the elbow, wrist, ankles, extensor forearms, then extensor surfaces of your legs. So that is in children. So again, they have oozing, crusting, there may be scaling, there may be redness. So these are the signs of atopic dermatitis. And generally when we go into the details of the history, there may be family history of asthma, there may be family history of atopy, food allergy, and there's something called as atopic march. Few number of the babies who are born atopic, they may turn out to be having allergic asthma or this atopy, food allergy and all that. So these things are all interconnected. Atopic dermatitis, allergic or bronchial asthma, and allergic rhinitis. Some people, they keep on having running nose, they keep on wheezing, and then when you ask them the history, they also have they also have involvement of atopic dermatitis. Now there are other signals of atopic dermatitis. Supposing in childhood or in adult, they have periorbital darkness, or they may have eyelid dermatitis. They may have a Demi-Morgan fold. There's a fold which is called a Demi-Morgan fold. That is again diagnostic of this atopic dermatitis. Then they may be allergic to food. They may not. The common food which generally people are allergic to is peanuts, soy, wheat, egg, and milk. These are the common, and fish. These are the common things which generally people have. Okay, questions. Maybe we'll attend to questions a little later. Sensitive skin. Yeah, I'll just tell you. Yeah, Bioderma products can be used for adults. Yes, Bioderma, the good thing about Bioderma products are they are very, very, very skin friendly. They have a very good pH which is perfect as per your skin. They are hypoallergic. They don't have any paraben free. They are the best ones for sensitive skin and for baby skin. In short, I'll just tell you, whatever products are good for baby skin can be used for adults who are having sensitive skin. So they are excellent. They have this atopic pain bar, which is a Syndet bar, which is which contains all the shea butter, squalene, glycerine, which is very good. I'll be just coming to that. I'll be explaining each and every composition of a moisturizer, what is important. Yes, girls between 22 and 25 can use Bioderma products. Of course, they are very good. Okay, so coming back to, I have just written down so that I don't leave my face, So we were talking about childhood and the infancy, how they can present atopic dermatitis. It's very important, it's very common. You may just find a few of your friends or family people suffering from atopic dermatitis, and you can just advise them, right? So 3 kinds of presentation: the infancy, the childhood, and the adult. So adults generally have a lot of itching, they have a lot of dry skin, and they generally have something called as lichenification. Because of repeated rubbing, the skin becomes so thick that it actually shows the skin markings are very prominent. So in that case, then that has to be dealt with the potent topical steroids and good moisturizer. All this combination is very, very important. And I will just start with now the moisturizers form the mainstay of treatment of a dry skin. They are called as the bodyguard of your skin, and they protect your barrier function very well. Now the most important thing which science has just found out a couple of years back is the main problem of a dry skin is loss of ceramide. ceramides are not there. Remember, I just told you 3 important compositions of a skin which maintain the moisture. It's ceramides, it's cholesterol, and it's free fatty acids. So ceramides form 40 to 50%. Now supposing if there's a genetic defect and ceramides are not formed for lifelong, how are you going to manage? You are going to be, prone for infections again and again. You're going to be prone for so much of trauma, so much of cosmetic problems. So you have to take care. So you have to choose a moisturizer which contains good amount of ceramides, and Bioderma is very good at it. So whenever you're buying a product, you have to see what the ingredients are, especially for the babies. You cannot just buy anything and apply, because the skin is so thin and it is so fragile. So whatever you are applying, and the body surface area is so much, whatever you are applying, it just gets absorbed and it can just go into the system of the body of the baby. So it's very bad. That's why very important to choose the right product. So a moisturizer should contain good amount of ceramides. It should contain other things like, so what is the ideal moisturizer? What is the ideal moisturizer? An ideal moisturizer is one which maintains the water content of the stratum corneum. It's rapidly absorbed. It reduces the transepidermal water loss. Okay, and it makes your skin smooth and supple immediately after application. So the best time to apply a good moisturizer to a baby or any person, adult or child, is immediately after a bath. Because once you take a bath, water is still there on your body, right? And you want that moisture to be entrapped. So that's how the moisturizers help. So within 2 minutes of a bath, you should apply moisturizer all over the body to the baby or to an adult and leave it, right? And this can be done maybe 2 times, maybe 3 times, depending upon how many times you're taking a bath. Even if you're not taking a bath 2-3 times a day, there's no harm in applying a moisturizer 3 to 4 times a day, provided it is non-comedogenic, it is hypoallergic, it is paraben free. You can use it as frequently as you want to, and you will actually, in fact, in a lot of my adult patients who come with a dry skin, they come with just few fine lines and wrinkles. I just have to prescribe them a good moisturizer and a sunscreen, and they are done. They are done. They say, doctor, 50% of my lines are gone just by using a good moisturizer which contains a lot of ceramides. In fact, nowadays you have a lot of moisturizers which contains vitamin E, with squalene, shea butter, lot of, for adults we have with antioxidants and lot of additives, right? So again, moisturizers are divided in 3 types for all practical purposes. They can be emollients, they can be occlusives, and they can be humectants. Now for all practical purposes, for most of us who do not have a diseased skin, just require plain simple emollients. Occlusives and humectants are required for the diseased skin, like those who have severely dry skin, or who have psoriasis, or who have eczemas and all that. They require a combination of all that. So coming to the emollients in babies, again what I said, emollients, they are generally the different kind of oils like linolenic acid, oleic acid, stearic acid, palmitic acid, and they repair the barrier function and they have smoothing effects. Now occlusives are most of the different kind of oils like mineral oil, petroleum jelly, silicone. They all come under occlusives. And humectants are generally, they are urea, sorbitol, propylene glycol, alpha hydroxy acids. They all come under humectants. Now coming to babies, supposing if a baby is born and you want to ask which oil to use, like for a body massage, which oil you should use, which lotion you should use, right? Now you'll be surprised to know that simple oils like coconut oil do wonders. Coconut oil is rich in vitamin E, lauric acid. It gives a lot of protection to the outer most layer of the skin. So it's very good to use, and it's easily absorbable. So coconut oil is something which you could use for a massage. You could use sunflower oil. Again, sunflower oil, even I did not know until I read about it. It is rich in lot of things. It is rich. It is a combination of, I'll tell you, I've written down. It's a mixture of MUFA and PUFA. It has 59% linoleic acid, was difficult for me to remember, 30% oleic acid, 6% stearic acid, and 5% palmitic acid. What else can you ask for, right? It's a wonderful thing. You could easily use sunflower oil. It has significant amount of vitamin E, steroids, and squalene. So, but important thing, whenever you're doing a body massage, it is a very good stimulant for the baby. It gives good, bonding between the mother and the baby, or the father. In fact, there was a time when we used to tell, who should massage the baby? It should be the father, because father spends less time with the baby, and there's a good amount of bonding when the father massages the baby. So you can use sunflower oil. Now, important part about massage with oils is you should avoid putting in the oils ears and nose. I mean ears, nose and mouth. Please avoid putting oil there, because if the massage wali, that moshi comes, no, she'll just put, because it's like a beginning, from the beginning they've been doing that. So that is very important. You have to avoid putting oil in nose, ears and mouth. And once you have finished the massaging, there are again techniques of massaging. You have to give a bath within 10 to 15 minutes. Please do not tie the baby and leave for some time. It can lead to infection, right? You have done your job, baby's felt good and relaxed. You give a bath, and that is very important, right? So immediately after a bath, it's very important to apply a good moisturizer from Bioderma, which is Atoderm, which is paraben free. It is rich in ceramides, and you apply it all over the body. Again, when you're giving a bath in the evening to the baby, again you could do the same thing. Not necessarily do an oil massage, just give a bath and again apply a moisturizer. Be very liberal, apply a good amount of moisturizer, right? Now, some of the ingredients of the moisturizer, how they work and what all different ingredients are there. So one of them is shea butter. Shea butter is an excellent ingredient of moisturizer. It keeps your baby's skin happy and protected. It has antifungal properties. It is high in vitamin A and vitamin E and helps production of collagen. Can you imagine? Even I didn't know this. So shea butter helps in production of collagen. It also has anti-inflammatory properties and helps in soothing of the sensitive skin. So shea butter, whenever you're buying a moisturizer, look for shea butter. It's very important. Another important is, so coconut oil, I was telling you, it is rich in vitamin E and lauric acid and can be used daily for moisturizing, has antibacterial and antifungal properties and very good for diaper rashes. Coming to other ingredients, glycerine. Now glycerine is again very, very important. Glycerine is capable of absorbing and holding water, and it helps in the production of something called as aquaporins. Aquaporins are water channels in our skin, and it can activate transglutaminase. So it's very good for xerotic skin. Another constituent is calamine. Calamine is generally used for a very itchy kind of a skin, very rough kind of a skin. When you have allergic rashes, calamine helps in soothing it down. Urea can again be used less than 10% and more than 10%. Less than 10% is used in dry conditions and more than 10% in disease condition. Yes, so Bharat is asking Bioderma Atoderm Intensive Moisturizer small pack. Yes. So it's available as a small pack of 45 ml. Bioderma Atoderm Intensive Balm is just excellent. Whoever has still not bought this, please, you are missing out on something. Please go ahead and buy it. It's excellent for your baby. You can use it for your own self. Now some other things about aloe vera. Aloe vera has an anti-inflammatory, anti-pruritic and wound healing properties. Now there have been studies which have shown that 2 weeks of aloe vera application can increase the skin hydration and has significant effect on transepidermal weight loss. It reduces the transepidermal weight loss. Another product is dexapenthenol. Dexapenthenol is also called as vitamin B5. It improves hydration and hygroscopic properties, provides moisturizer. Then jojoba oil. It is written as Gojoba, but it's pronounced as jojoba oil. It is not an oil, but it is a liquid wax ester and offers lubrication, retards water loss and enhances flexibility and maintains the suppleness of the skin. So jojoba oil is something you can add. Sunflower oil, I told you, it is something very nice. Silicone again acts as a non-greasy kind of a occlusive agent and an emollient. Oatmeal right now has been said by US FDA, it has a very good skin protection properties. So it's very good. It has a water binding and moisture retention. So we spoke about shea butter. So important things: shea butter, glycerine. This Atoderm product has both of them. It has a lot of other things like zinc and lot of good things, vitamins and all added to it, which gives very good protection. It maintains the skin barrier. It makes your baby's skin healthy. So guys, don't wait, just go for it. So they have a Atoderm Pain bar, which is a Syndet bar. You can use that bar for bathing your baby. After that, follow it up with the Intense Balm. Also, they have a gel mucin, which is used as a cleanser, Atoderm gel mucin, which can be used as a cleanser for removing makeup, for your washing your face, for So any person who's having sensitive skin or a normal skin can all use these Atoderm products. So I think I'm done with today's this thing. Let's just address the questions. Yeah, should we directly apply shea butter? Yes, why not? You can. But then see, you don't know about the authenticity, about how well it has been done. So it's always better to go for a proper company, you know, who are good at it. Doctor, can you suggest good moisturizer for everyday use? You can go for this Atoderm Intense Balm. It's very good. You could use that moisturizer. So what is an ideal moisturizer? Ideal moisturizer should be hypoallergic. It should be paraben free. It should be light. It should be able to get absorbed. It should give a nice, smooth, soft skin, and it should reduce the transepidermal water loss. So that makes a moisturizer an ideal moisturizer. And I told you when is the right time to apply. It should be immediately after taking a bath, or immediately after you washed your face. You can apply a moisturizer. That's the right time because it keeps your moisture entrapped. So any more questions? I'm ready to take the questions. Maybe I have missed a few earlier. Okay, for everyday use, yeah, you could use everyday moisture. You can use the Atoderm moisturizer for everyday. It's very good. Okay, thank you Bharat. Certain things I just want to read out. Those who are having atopic dermatitis, what all they should do, or for a baby who's having a very dry skin, what all you should avoid: lengthy baths, very short baths. Use lukewarm water for bathing, and use mild baths, soap baths or Sindet baths, and apply emollient liberally to the moist areas within 3 minutes after bathing. Avoid woolen clothes or irritant clothes. That's very important. Avoid food. Coming to food allergens, did you know that breastfeeding can prevent your baby from having allergic problems? So breastfeeding at least for 4 to 6 months of life is very important. It protects you from so many diseases, right? Okay, coming to aeroallergens, those who are having atopic dermatitis, they should avoid carpets in their house. They should avoid teddy bears, soft toys, pets at home. Then this pillow should be covered with a plastic encasement. You should encase your pillows and bed with a plastic this thing, and your bed sheets, your blankets, they should always be put at least once in a week in the sunlight, right? Avoid smoking, and regular vacuuming of drapes, blankets is very important. Avoid rugs, all that is important. Yeah, and use very soft cotton clothing that should not be too tight or too warm. That is very important. And gentle after a bath, just gentle, just mop. Okay. Yeah, thank you Bharat. Hi Shada. So any more questions if you all have, I'm happy to take. Otherwise I'll just say certain instructions in when the baby is born. When the baby is immediately born, you should not bathe the baby for at least 6 hours. Give a bath after 6 hours. And temperature instability is something which you have to take care of the baby. And sponges are better to avoid. When there's an option, no, whether they ask you whether should we sponge the baby or should we give a bath in a tub. So sponge can lead to infection, so it's better you avoid sponge. It's better you give a tub bath, but see to it that the head and neck remains above the water level. It should not be beneath it. Baby might just slip down, so that you have to be very careful. And doc, please suggest a good face wash for dry skin. Yeah, so you could use a face wash. You can use the Atoderm face wash. It's excellent. Yeah, Atoderm face wash. It's a gel kind of a thing. You could use that. Basically, any face wash which should contain aloe vera or a glycerine or this moisturizing properties they have, you could use for that. Yeah, it's very good. And other things for adults, before taking a bath, you could use a milk cream. You could apply on the face. And a face wash for adults. If you have a sensitive skin, you could go for the Atoderm one. Otherwise, you could go for there are a lot of face washes which are available with a glycolic acid. They are available with mandelic acid. So look at the ingredient, what all is there. So I would just suggest you one with the mandelic acid. It's called as MAF face wash. You can use that, or you can use something called as Glorious or Tone and Glow. There are a lot of for adults. This is for adults. I'm not talking about babies now. This is for adults. So it's important that if you have a dry skin, that immediately after you wash your face or you take a bath, you should apply moisturizer in a good quantity. Please be liberal with the moisturizer. Don't just. So the latest thing is, those normal soaps they are alkaline. They can dry up your skin. So very important. Now another important thing is, during this COVID era, we are used to, we are supposed to wash our hands again and again. So it's very important at the wash basin near the hand wash, please keep a moisturizer. So immediately after you wash your hands, you use a moisturizer immediately. So every now and then, because nowadays we are seeing a lot of cases, we are getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of this thing asking about hand eczema. A lot of people have developed hand eczema because they are not using a good amount of moisturizer. Also, they are cutting a lot of vegetables, washing clothes, washing utensils. They all contain a lot of detergents. So please go ahead and buy this Atoderm moisturizer and keep on applying the moisturizer again and again. In fact, we will try and share a video film we've just made during this COVID era to avoid hand dermatitis. I will tell the Bioderma people to share that video with you all. You could just have a look. It can help you, like for example, you should wear nitrile gloves, not rubber gloves, and try to avoid cutting vegetables. In case if you have to do the cutting and washing, please wear those gloves and then do the needful, and use a moisturizer. Be as liberal as possible and avoid soaps and all which have an alkaline pH. Go for Sindet bars. Go for this thing which contain shea butter and squalene, glycerine. All these are very, very important constituents. So Atoderm is very good. Bioderma products are very good for those who have a sensitive skin, for baby soft skin. They have a bar which is a Sindet bar. It's called as the Atoderm Intense Bar Soap, Pain Soap. Then they have an Intense Balm. Then they have a gel mucin which can be used as a cleanser. So excellent products, very good for sensitive skin. So basically any product which you're using for a baby can be used for a sensitive skin, because the baby skin is so soft and sensitive. You cannot just use anything and everything. You have to be very choosy. You have to give your right thing, right product, because baby is so precious. So you have to use the best products. Very insightful. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you, Poonam, for asking such wonderful questions. So if there are no more questions, we would I have somebody is asking, Garima, I have acne, what to do now? Actually, this is not a part of this this thing. You can ask me on my Insta page. My Insta page is with the name of Sinova Care. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. I'm sorry, I cannot take this. This is not a session for acne. This is mainly for dry skin, for babies. This thing. Dr. My brother, whose age is 12, many times just after taking bath, he has itching sensation. Can moisturize? Yes, why not? You could. So there's something called as physical urticaria. For physical urticaria, so this can occur because of water, hot water. So first, tell your brother's child, who's 12, tell him not to take a bath with hot water. Take bath with normal water or lukewarm or maybe cold water, and see if he's having. If he's still having it, then he can use like a good moisturizer, and you can start using calamine lotion also for this. So Namrata, I'm available on Sinova Care Insta page. You can ask your queries on that page. We'll be more than happy to answer you. We are available throughout. I have clinics in Bandra, Thane and Kalyan with the name of Sinova, and we mainly specialized in lasers, anti-aging treatments. I'm very passionate about PCOS, about pediatric dermatology. So any questions, any queries, you are more than welcome. Use Atoderm bath gel on babies on daily. Yes, of course you can use on daily basis. So that's the quality. I mean, that's the thing. Good thing about Atoderm is they are such soft products that you can use on daily basis. My baby skin always dry. Apply too much oil, but still skin is dry. So please try, Garima. Please try these products. You have to use a Sindet bar. You have to follow it up with a moisturizer. Please be more frequent with this thing. Maybe which oil are you using? That is not sufficient. So these go for the standard products which are a combination of everything. See, we don't have to do any research on this. They are all ready products. We have to just use it. They have done, the company has done all the research. They wouldn't have otherwise come into this what to do with baby dry skin. So apply a lot of moisturizer immediately after a bath. Apply moisturizer 3 to 4 times a day and use Sindet bars. That's very, very important. And maybe if the skin is too red, you need to show to a doctor, and doctor may prescribe a very mild steroid cream for some time. Online consultation is available, as we can't. Yeah, so I would like to just share with you, since because of this COVID era, we are not presently going to the clinics nor doing any procedures, but we are giving online WhatsApp online consultation. So in case if anybody is interested, I'm doing WhatsApp online consultation in Sinova Care. You can find out from this page, our Insta page on Sinova Care. Yeah, thank you Himan, thank you Garima. Can massage oil can be used for hairs? Oh yes, for babies you can use the same. There's no difference for babies. And sorry, I forgot to mention this thing about the hair. You can use the same oil which you're using for the baby for baby massage. You can use the same oil for the hair. Not an issue at all. But see to it that once you have massaged, you have put oil, you should give a bath within a couple of minutes. Do not, the old thing was once you give a bath, you have to tie the baby, leave the baby for some time. No, that has given rise to a lot of infections, lot of pustules and pus and bacterial and fungal infections. So try not to do that. Immediately after giving a bath, immediately give a bath to your baby and then apply a moisturizer and put the baby to sleep. Best lotion for baby, Atoderm. Any lotion which contains lot of ceramides, lot of shea butter, glycerine, you can use that. And Atoderm is very good because it is very baby friendly. So you could go for it. It's an excellent lotion. All their products are very good. Bioderma has stood the test of time. It has amazing products, amazing makeup remover, amazing moisturizers, amazing. In fact, I use a lot of these products for anti-aging, for a lot of when we give fruit peels to patients, we use a lot of these Bioderma products. Are very gentle, very, very gentle. Post lasers, we suggest them to use this face wash so that it doesn't cause any burning or any stinging sensation. Can we wash baby hairs? Actually, daily it is not really required, Garima. It's not required to wash daily. Only if there's hot and humid weather, when you feel your baby is really sweating a lot, then you can use it daily. It's no harm. But their products you can use daily. It's not a problem at all. You have bath wash too? Yes, they also have the bath wash. Bioderma products, they have a bath wash too. Yes, you can look for it. They have all the products for baby care. They have a line of products. There's a soap, there's a Sindet bar, there's a baby wash, there's a lotion. There are a lot of things. Any remedy for cradle cap? Yeah, you can use a oil. Any mineral oil you can apply, leave it, and it will remove that. If still it doesn't, then you can use a simple Savlon antiseptic solution. Take a cup full of this antiseptic solution and put it in a tumbler full of water, and you make a foam out of it and you apply it. You can do it on regular basis. It will get removed. If it doesn't respond, then we have to use a mild steroid. You can use something called as, ideally I shouldn't be telling you this on this platform, but it's okay. There's something called as Flucot lotion. You can apply it just once a day for maybe 5 to 7 days and it will be all gone. Then you can maintain it with the mineral oil, or you can maintain with Savlon. You can use once or twice a week. I hope that answers your question. Garima is asking the maximum amount of questions. I think you have a baby. How old is your baby? Thank you. Thanks, Garima. Thank you so much, guys. I hope it was of help, and we would love to continue with such kind of sessions. It was nice. I really enjoyed the sessions. And sorry, I was reading in between because I couldn't recollect certain things. So I just hope that's fine. Fine. Yeah, 1 year. Please take care of your baby well. Make her eat a lot of things. I'm sure you must have started weaning. You're giving full diet. Dal, khichdi, idli, upma, sira, chiku, papaya, apple, aloo, dahi, paneer, cheese, vegetables, mashed vegetables, everything. And guys, breastfeeding is very, very important. You must breastfeed, exclusive breastfeed for first 6 months of the life of a baby. That's very important. In a way, you're protecting your baby from a lot of infections, lot of problems. You will not realize that. No, applying sanitizer is not safe for baby because most of these sanitizers contain 70% alcohol and can get absorbed by the baby. So please don't use a sanitizer for babies. You just clean with the soap water. please suggest me for my 10-year dry skin except Vaseline. So 10-year-old, you can use a moisturizer by Atoderm. You can apply it 3 to 4 times a day immediately after a bath, and use a Syndet bar. Syndet bar, again, they contain a lot of surfactants. They have a very good cleansing property. At the same time, they leave your skin very soft and smooth, supple. They are at a good pH, which is at par with the pH of the skin. So you could use the Atoderm Intense Balm Moisturizer. You can use this Atoderm Syndet soap, and you could also use the gel lotion. Any more questions? Otherwise, we'll wind up. So we covered with normal physiological change. What is the difference between the neonatal skin and the adult skin? What are the common problems seen with the newborn skin, which are physiological, which are acquired? Then what is a dry skin? What is the cause of dry skin? And how do you treat the dry skin with moisturizers? And we took up a little bit on the atopic dermatitis, which is a very, very common problem. However, lot of other problems like, yeah, there's another question. Ear cleaning tips, please. So yeah, that's again a good question. You can use a Johnson's baby bud and just clean the outermost with the bud. Don't go inside. Inside, God has already, given some kind of hair are there, which the villi are there, which remove the wax from your ear. So you don't have to remove the wax from the baby's ear. Whatever is outside, don't go deeper. In case if you feel there's excessive wax, there's excess of this thing, then you should show to an ENT. Yes, don't do too many things. Sometimes lot of problems in babies can be iatrogenic, that is, we are inducing them. For example, if we leave the oil on the baby and we don't wipe it, we don't give a bath immediately, it can lead to infection. That's very common. We see in practice something called as oil dermatitis, because the oil, or maybe that oil is not suitable for your skin. People use like different kind of oil, so that's not suitable for your skin. That can lead to oil dermatitis, so avoid that. And so avoid iatrogenic problems. And yeah, that's it. I think that's it for today. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. Be safe.